One question I often get asked is, how do I manage my own money? If you look on social media between Reddit, Twitter, really anywhere, you see people ask this type of question all the time. Hi, my name is Thomas Kopelman. I'm a financial planner for high income, high net worth people in their 30s to 50s. This is a really fun question for me to answer because I'm really just telling you how I view finances and how I handle my money. And I do the exact same things that I teach my clients how to do. This is not advice. This isn't me telling you to do these things. This is just what ended up making sense for me. I think first what you need to understand is how I manage my cash flow. So I'm a business owner. I have revenue streams coming in from multiple places. My business is an S Corp. Most of how I get paid is W-2 through my S Corp and through another role that I have. So it's nice, taxes get withheld. I still have quarterly taxes from profit of the business and some of the other things, but money comes into me post-tax, right? I max out my 401k pretty much right away. Last year, I did as much as I possibly could to a Roth 401k because my income was going to be lower than it probably ever will be in the future. And now I'm closing in on the 35% tax bracket. So I'm moving back to a traditional 401k and I'm going to max it out every year between myself and my spouse. But when cash flow comes in, I see, okay, hey, great. I take home X amount of dollars. I know my monthly expenses are about X dollars. All of the rest of that is what I'm going to save and invest. So the second that money comes in, I send money to my travel fund. I send money to go to max out my backdoor Roths. I send money to my taxable investment account. For the last while, I've been saving for a down payment of a house, furniture for a house, etc. So it's really important thing that I do is I do what's called reverse budgeting. All that means is when money comes in, I save and invest first, and then I spend what's left over. But you have to understand what your cash flow is, what your spending is to understand how much money you need to leave into that account. That is the core principle that I use is reverse budgeting. Next, how I invest those dollars, the accounts I use. So for me, the order of priority is first maxing out my 401k. So through my other W-2 job, I have a 401k, I get a match in there. I make sure I max it out all the way to the $23,000 and I'm having my wife do the exact same thing through her work. That's $46,000 of pre-tax. And then we also have the employer match. So call it, about $55,000. Next, doing my backdoor Roth. So I did my backdoor Roth January 1 of this year. My fiance and I, we basically just got married. So right at the end of the year, I did her 2023 Roth. And I'm also in January doing her 2024 Roth. We're getting those maxed out first. I want to get tax-free dollars in and let it grow tax-free for as long as possible. The next account that I would go to is an HSA, but I don't have an HSA option right now. So bypass that one. After that, all of the rest of my investments go to a taxable account. So I have two taxable accounts. One of them is just a regular brokerage account that I use and I manage. It's almost all ETFs, probably 95% that way between US, large cap, small cap, international, emerging markets, and some real estate. I want to be really diversified. And then I use a small percentage of my monthly surplus to buy Bitcoin. This is just something that I personally believe in. I believe that you can have 80 to 90% of your portfolio in diversified ETFs, mutual funds, index funds, etc. And then you can take a little bit of added risk the other. And that's an investment that I personally believe in and I like the belief behind it of really what the goal of Bitcoin is. But again, I don't think that's right for everybody. It's just personally what I do. On top of that, basically I have my life insurance. I have disability insurance through my work. I max out my homeowners, I max out my auto, and then I'm getting umbrella insurance this year to sit on top of it. So, it's pretty basic. At the end of the day, it's about manage cash flow well. It's about investing using the right accounts and investing in a way that you believe in that you're going to hold on to and continuing to invest through the downturns. It's about ensuring the big risks. And then the last few things that I do is I have a hard time spending, to be honest. I work with people who have a really hard time saving. They spend everything. And there's other people who are wired to save. And for me, I'm wired to save. And so one of the things that I do is I put money into accounts for things I'm going to spend on, like travel, like furniture, like, clothing, things like that. If I don't set the money aside, I know I'm not going to spend it. And I'm okay with spending it. My goal is to save a very large amount of my income to make sure that I'm way ahead and way on track for any of the goals that I have, but also to spend and not feel guilt spending. So that's the system that I've done. The other thing is I use credit cards. Again, we don't have problems overspending. We never have any debt on our credit cards. And so we use credit cards and get the points. We have a wedding this year. We have a honeymoon. We're buying furniture for a house. So we're going to end up getting over $3,000 of rewards back on things that we would have bought either way. And we're going to be able to use that on travel down the line for trips that we were going to go on. The big thing is we use it like a debit card and we spend on the things that we were normally going to spend on. And the last thing, which is a lot of people would argue with, is I have a lease on my Tesla. So I recently got a Tesla. I took advantage of the $7,500 tax credit. I sold my last car and the lease is going to be really cheap. I don't know in 3 years if I'll have kids and I'll want a bigger car. We needed a new car in our household because my fiance's car was kind of in bad shape. And what ended up making the most sense for me was a lease. It's really not going to cost me much. Would buying have been slightly better? Potentially. I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of the tax credit. So that $7,500 was a really big difference. And so that ended up being what was right for us. We'll save money on gas, oil changes, etc. But overall, this is really how I manage my money. It's pretty simple. I keep focusing on growing the business, growing the income, taking those dollars and investing in building assets for the future. Even though I don't have a plan to retire early, it's all about flexibility. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and go subscribe to my channel for more personal finance content. And as always, please leave your thoughts in the comments below and I promise to get back to every single one of them. We'll see you back next week.